Hello everyone, this is Daniel from weightlossnotes.com, and I want to thank you for joining me today. It is Saturday afternoon, and I want to share with you a review of MyFitnessPal.com. It's a website for tracking your food intake, your exercise. It is a phenomenal tool and resource for you to use in your journey to lose weight and get fit. Now, full disclosure up front, I am a Team Beachbody coach. I love the Beachbody community, the Facebook groups, their online forum, and just all of the resources they have. But MyFitnessPal does one thing, and they do one thing really well, and that is help you track or journal what you eat and exercise. And they do it in a very simple way, which encourages you to use it. So, enough talking, and let's jump right into it. I'm here on the homepage of MyFitnessPal.com, www.myfitnesspal.com, and over here on the right-hand side, when you first arrive, it'll ask you if you're not a member to join. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to sign up with a brand new account, and I'm going to use an email address and join. Right away it asks me to put in my current weight. So I'm going to put in a number, and my goal is that, and I'm going to say how tall I am and whether I'm a male or female. I'm a male, and I'm going to enter my date of birth. It is December 20th for whoever would like to know. And yes, cash or checks will be accepted. And of course, I'm kidding. But let's continue. Zip code. I'll put that in, and it asks you to describe your normal daily activities, and that's because it wants to know how to tailor the suggestions it will give you and what will work more effectively for you. And you'll see in a moment when we get into the site what that means. So I'm going to say that my daily activities are lightly active. And how many times a week do I plan on working out? And let's say 3 times. Let's accept the default 30 minutes of workout. And you'll also see where this comes into play in a little bit. It'll ask what's your goal, and it recommends a goal for you. And it's very interesting that it doesn't go beyond losing 2 pounds per week. And that's some solid advice. Unless you're very overweight and you're starting a fitness regimen and diet program, you won't normally healthily lose more than 2 pounds per week. Again, unless you're very overweight or you've not exercised and dieted in a long time. And in that case, you'll lose a lot of weight earlier up front. And that tends to be a lot of water weight as your body is adjusting. But we're going to go with the default. I'm going to lose 1 pound per week, and I'm going to save and continue. Now, this is really great too, and it's a proven fact that when you're in a relationship with someone who is a coaching and or be an encouragement, a resource for you, you're more likely to stick to your program than if you try and do it alone as the Lone Ranger. And having a group to support you is very vital. And what this does is it allows you to put in your name and first and last name here, and then invite up to 5 people you know to join you. And what it will do is it'll add them to your group so that they'll be able to see your progress as you're going along. You'll be able to see and track their progress as well, and again, you'll be on a friends list and be able to monitor and see how each other is doing, and that makes for some really good accountability. So if you have some people that you can add to this, go ahead and invite them right here. It's totally free. MyFitnessPal is free for you, and it'll be free for your members, for your friends forever, as far as I know. So well, I'm going to skip that, but I would definitely encourage you, if you're setting it up, you want to do that. Now, it sets up the account, and it gives you some suggestions of what your target should be. Tells you what your calories consumed per day should be, and it gives you suggestions of carbs, fat, and protein per day. And then it tells you not only of your nutrition or your food, but also in terms of your fitness. How many calories should you be burning per week to help you stay on target to hit this goal of 1 pound per week? And if you stay on that 1 pound per week, it projects that you'll lose 5 pounds by a certain target date, and it updates that as you go. So let's get started, and let's jump right in. Now, this is the default screen when you sign in every day. Let's go back. I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log back in here. And sign in. This is the default screen that it will show me every single day when I sign in and every time I sign in. And it will tell me the calories that I have remaining to eat for that day. And if I have other people that I am in a friends list with, it'll show me their summary, and I can also share how I'm feeling or how I'm doing with my friends as well. I could type something out here, and unlike Twitter, where you're limited to 140 characters, you can type whatever you want here pretty much. Bear in mind, it's not going to be public. This is just for your friends, and I'll set up a disclaimer there in a moment. You can tie this into Facebook and into a Twitter account that you have. So if you want to share your progress with your Facebook friends and post updates and how you're doing from here directly into your Facebook account, you absolutely can. And you would just click this button under the F for Facebook and set it up. It's very simple to do. And same with your Twitter account. If you have a personal Twitter account that you want to share how you're doing, you can set that up here as well. Let's go right into the food and the exercise, and then I'm going to talk about some other things that are part of MyFitnessPal as well. So every day when you sign in, and every time that you have a meal, you come into MyFitnessPal, log in, and you record it. The number one thing that I suggest to all of the people that I coach, and that I've other people that coach others have shared with me, and it's a common accepted practice, a best practice if you will, is that everything you put in your mouth, you should journal. Everything, every day, all day. Now, if you don't have access to a computer all day long, then definitely keep it in a notepad or a sheet of paper that you keep in your wallet or in your purse. And every time you eat something, if it's a single lollipop, if it's a meal, if it's something that you're drinking, if it's an iced tea, if it's a soda, whatever it is, journal it. Write it down somewhere. And then when you have a chance, either throughout the day or at the end of the day, one time a day or twice a day, however often you can, come here to myfitnesspal.com and log in everything that you've eaten. If you want to just for yourself use it as a way to help you with your dieting, this is powerful. And by that I mean I wrote an article some time ago, and in the article I made a point that sometimes what we do, especially our eating, is so subconscious. And we sit down and we have a meal, and then throughout the course of our day when we're working, we'll snack on something. Someone will offer us a piece of cake, a lollipop, a soda, bottle of water, and sometimes, and throughout the course of the day, you'll get just from every which way, you'll get something to eat, something to drink, something to munch on, and most of the time, it's at a subconscious level. You just eat it, and you're programmed from when you're little. When someone offers you food, it's not polite to refuse it, and it's whatever's set in front of you, finish your plate. And that's always something I learned as a child, and I'm sure most of you have as well. And that kind of thinking has turned food into something subconscious we do. When we begin to track and journal our eating, and this is so important, I don't want you to miss this. When we begin to track and journal our eating, we raise our intake of food from the subconscious level to the conscious level. And when we become conscious and aware of what we're eating, then we can do something about it. But if we relegate and continue to have food at a subconscious level, and whatever we just get in front of us, we eat, we have a desire, we act on it in terms of eating and munching with no thought about what it will do for our bodies or not, we inherit all kinds of problems down the road. But when we're journaling and tracking everything that goes in our mouth, we raise it to a conscious level. And I tell the people that I coach, I challenge you for 10 days. 10 days, do an experiment with me. Sign up to MyFitnessPal, add me as a friend, and every single thing you eat, you drink, everything that goes into your mouth, even a chewing gum stick, whether you swallow it or not, record it. Put it in MyFitnessPal. Every day I'm going to check in on you, and I'm going to see what you're eating. And at the end of the 10 days, let's review what you've done together. Let's look at it. And always, every single time, at the end of that segment of 10 days, people are floored because they don't realize all the stuff that they've been putting into themselves. And when you get that awareness, it becomes a very powerful motivator for you to make change. So I want to urge you, use MyFitnessPal. It is a huge first step for you to make a change in your body. And the way you do it is really simple. You log in, you click on this tab. Again, you're in the home page when you first join. You click on this tab called Food, and you make sure that this is the day that you're wanting, and you go to your Add Food. Click on Add Food, and what's cool is the database of food in here is amazing. So, for instance, this morning I had a Shakeology chocolate. And I just click search, and it will show me all of the different matches of Shakeology chocolate. And what I'll do is did I make it with water? Did I make it with skim milk? 12 ounces of skim milk, peanut butter, and butterscotch with vanilla silk, soy milk, unsweetened almond milk. And actually that's what I did. So I'll click this, and you'll see here that there are 11 confirmations that this nutritional info, and again I clicked on this link under here, the nutritional info is accurate. This is what it is. So I had one serving of a cup, one glass of Shakeology for breakfast. add it to the meal, and voila. It adds my calories. It shows me how many carbs. It shows me how much fat and how much protein I've added for that meal. And it takes it or subtracts it from my daily goal and tells me how much I have remaining. So, for a snack, I had a yogurt, and I actually have here which yogurt. I had a Yoplait original yogurt, the strawberry flavor, low-fat yogurt. So I'll type in Yoplait strawberry low-fat yogurt, and I'll do a search, and it will show me what are my choices. And this is the original flavor, so I'm going to click that. Again, it's 8 confirmations. I can click on the nutritional info and look at it, and does it match what the nutritional label on this says? And it is a match. So I had 1 serving, 1 container. I had it for a snack. I add it. Now for dinner, I had a Hormel Salisbury steak, and I'm going to click that. It's the Salisbury steak and gravy, and I had 1 container. It's actually not 5 steaks, but it's the same. So 1 steak, let's see. And I'm looking at the nutritional. So it's actually 3 steaks. So, and I'm looking at the nutritional info here for the Salisbury steak. And this is correct. And it's 3 servings per container. It's actually 3 steaks, so I'm going to change it to 3 servings, and that is correct. So I'm going to change it to 3 servings here, excuse me, and add it to my dinner meal. Let's stir these out. And you'll see that that had 510 calories, 18 grams of carbs, 30 grams of fat, 45 grams of protein, and it took it away. It subtracted it from my remaining balance. Now, I also had today a snack of green tea, and it was from Keurig. I have a Keurig coffee maker, so I had a Keurig green tea coffee, and it was the here, that's right, the Bigelow green tea with nothing in it, just plain. 1 serving, 12 ounce for a snack. And you notice that I add that 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 fat, and that's very good for me to know. For lunch, I had a Walmart seafood salad, but I only had half of it. I didn't really care for the taste of it. It was a Walmart market-side seafood salad, and it was 1 container, but only 0.5 serving. I didn't really care for it too much. Now you notice this says 0 confirmations, so I want to just check that there are no other here options that have the confirmation. And the more confirmations, meaning the more people have verified that this nutritional info is correct, the safer you are. So I'm just looking to see, and that's fine. 1 container, 0.5 serving, and that was my lunch, and I added that to here. Now something doesn't look right because that's not accurate. So 0.5, does it take it? There you go, that's correct. So it added as 0 first. And I'll point that out again. If you make a mistake in your serving or your portion size, you can just click right here on the link and correct it appropriately. And you'll see it added the calories, the carbs, the fat, the protein, and deducted it from my remaining calories for the day. Did I have any water? And yes, I had 2 glasses of water today. This is very good that you keep track of the amount of water that you're drinking. Water or water, depending on how you say it, that's fine. I apologize if I've offended somebody. But you definitely, the recommendation they make here is very true. You want to be drinking at least 8 cups of water per day. And filtered water is better, but if you don't have a water filter, as good, unprocessed, healthy water as you can get would be best. 8 cups, 8 ounces, 64 ounces a day minimum to be drinking is what's recommended. And just continue to add throughout your day here to your food. Continue to keep track of as you're eating, chewing gum, snacks. Keep them here, continue to add them, and when you're finished for the day, click complete this entry and it'll process. And it's really cool. If every day were like today, you'd weigh X number of pounds in 5 weeks, and it does that based on how many calories you've consumed. This is just the food tab. Now I can go to exercise and I can add exercise that I've done. Now what it does is it breaks it into cardiovascular and strength training. For most people that are looking to lose weight, it's recommended that you start with a cardiovascular program, and then as your body is used to and more able to support working out, then to add strength training to it. But talk to your coach. Make sure that they're tailoring a plan for your specific body type and needs. I'm not going to make a recommendation of what you should do or not because I don't know your specific needs. But I wanted to show you this, that MyFitnessPal breaks it up into cardiovascular and strength training. So add exercise. What kind of exercise did you do? Well, today I went for a walk. And let's type that in. And walking. Wow, it's here. Did I do it at a slow pace? Did I do it at a moderate pace? Did I do it at a very brisk pace? Did I do power walking? 5 miles per hour. I walked at a slow pace today, and it asked me how long did I walk? And I want to put here 30 minutes. And based on the miles, your walking pace, it estimates how many calories you burned, and it click add exercise, and it adds it to here. And if you go back to your home page, interestingly, your goal of calories per day minus the food you eat, adding back the exercise, shows you how many calories you have remaining to consume. Now, should your goal be to eat that 2,800 calories? Again, work with your coach, your trainer, who will give you a more specific target calories that you want to eat, that you want to consume each day. But I will suggest to you that I made a mistake very early on in my training and programming, that I thought losing weight meant stopping eating and to starve myself. And without going into the whole reasons why, that was wrong. That was completely a mistake. And when you do that, your body shuts itself down because it realizes, it says, hey, I'm starving here, so I better preserve what I've got, and I'm not gonna let myself, starve here. I want to prolong my life. And then when food begins to come in, what it does is the body in that mode stores it. It actually doesn't use it, it actually stores it. But when you're not in a starvation mode, and when you're eating more regularly, the body says, okay, I've got some food here, and I got some food coming in, and after a while, if you've established a pattern of the amount of calories and how often throughout the day that you're eating, and a good piece of advice is, instead of doing 3 large meals a day, break it up into 5 or 6 meals a day, and again, work with your coach on that specifically. The body says, oh, okay, I've got food coming in, I'm not starving, I can eat, that's fine, I'll process this food, and since I've got this other food coming in, I'll actually process and turn it into energy. So work with your coach, bottom line, and or your trainer to get more details specifically of what your target calories should be. But I want to encourage you to use this, MyFitnessPal. Use every single day, and if you have access to a computer throughout the day, to keep track of your food diary, to keep track of your exercise. You want to definitely do this. What's nice is that MyFitnessPal has recipes that you can enter here, and I'll show you where in a moment there are recipes you can search for. MyFitnessPal will also allow you to create specific foods. So if there's a specific mix, of a type of food that you make, that's not something that's commercially available, and you put some things together and that's a specific grouping that you do, you can come here to Food, My Foods, and add a food grouping that you want to add and set up the factors that you need for tracking that. You can also do the same with meals and set up meals here and search for them, and what would a dinner meal consist of, and put that there. Now, you can run reports, either nutrition, fitness, or progress. And let's look at nutrition for a moment. And I want to see what are my net calories for the last 7 days. View a report, and what it will do is it will show me, once I have 7 days of entry, how my calories or my intake is. And this will allow me to visually see that on certain days, and this is especially good when you get into the last 30 and 90 days, it'll allow you to see patterns of, on this day, Wednesdays I tend to eat more, Sundays I tend to eat more, and it'll allow you to track patterns, ebbs and flow, in the amount of calories, which is very, very good for you to know. Besides net calories, you could just track the amount of carbs, fat, protein, the amount of vitamin A, vitamin C, iron, calcium, your intake over a period of, again, 7 days, 30 days, 90 days. And this is very, very good for you to know, especially as you've begun to use this and use it a bit, for that amount of time, the amount of information that you can glean from here and say, wow, my vitamin A over the last 30 days has been really low. and I need to start eating certain fruits and vegetables that are richer in that vitamin and add that to what I'm doing. Remember that I said earlier on, when eating stays relegated at a subconscious level, you're just not aware of what you're doing. But when you begin to bring it and elevate it up to a conscious level, it becomes power. And when you can track how you're doing in your calories and your intake of certain types of food and certain types of fat, certain types of sodium, for those of you that need to stay on a very low sodium diet, this is such a perfect thing for you. If your cholesterol is very high and you need to bring that down, this is a way for you to track your cholesterol and to track it through your eating over a period of 7 days, 30 days, 90 days. These are great things for you to do. In terms of fitness, it will track how much calories you've burned over a period of time, and it'll also track how much exercise. If you're being honest and being real with what you're putting in, you'll see at the end of 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, the bigger wow factor when you decide, I didn't feel like working out today. I didn't feel like exercising today. Not worth it. The one day that you decide not to do it is not such a big deal. But when you see it charted out and graphed out over 30 or 90 days, all of a sudden it becomes a very big wow, a very big factor for you to take into consideration and say, I need to remedy this and address it. And that's what elevating food and exercise to a position of awareness does. Now, as you're tracking your eating and your exercise throughout the course of your journey, you are going to want to weigh in. And you're going to want to weigh in not every day, at a minimum 7 days, every 7 days, and every 14 days is good. Every 30 days is better. What's important to know about weighing in is to A, do it the same way, the same time, so that you have the consistency in your reporting. And by that I mean, if you're going to choose to weigh yourself in, weigh yourself every 14 days and stick with that. Or weigh yourself every 30 days and stick with that, and set a goal of, for example, on the first day of every month, I'm going to weigh myself. Or on day 1 and day 15 of every month, I'm going to weigh myself. And the best time to weigh yourself is first thing in the morning, when you first wake up. And you've had at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and you've digested the food that you've had from the evening before, and you've gotten up and you used the restroom and washed your teeth and did what you had to do. Before you eat anything, before you even drink anything, a cup of tea or water or anything at all, make your Shakeology mix. Weigh yourself. And if you're married and you can do this and you don't have children, or you could do this in the privacy of your bathroom, the best thing you could do is to strip naked and to get on the scale. No clothes, first thing in the morning, and weigh yourself. And that consistent way that you do that every single time. When you're weighing yourself, come in here on the home page and click on weigh in and enter the weight that day. You can also enter in other measurements of your neck, your waist, your hips, and you can track additional measurements, which is very good. And you can track, for instance, your thighs and add that. Not things, thighs. And you can add that as a measurement. You could also add in your biceps and add that as a measurement. And when you're finished, click cancel, and it adds it right here to the list of things that you can measure. It'll show you what the last entry of measurement was, and you can just enter in the new numbers and save today's change. When you do that, and I'm going to go back to the home page for just a moment by clicking MyFitnessPal, it will change this, and it will tell you what your progress is, that you've lost X number of pounds, 2 pounds, 1 pound, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, and it does it cumulatively, so that you'll know from when you first started how many pounds overall have you lost. And this is a very good motivator for you to keep track of, wow, since I started using MyFitnessPal, I've lost 16 pounds, 36 pounds, 102 pounds, whatever it is. And what's nice is that you can click on this link right here underneath and add this to your site. And you have a few different options of how you can add it to your site in terms of the badge that it adds to your site, and it shows you what the options are. And you can either get one that says how many pounds you've lost, and these are on the left side, and on the right side is how many pounds you have to go to your goal weight. And all you have to do is highlight everything that's in this box and copy it to your website. And if you don't know how to copy HTML code to your website, talk to your webmaster or to a coder/geek friend who can help you with doing that. But it's not that hard to do, and it'll appear on your website so that other people can know how you're doing, how your progress is going with your weight loss, and you don't have to tell them. They can just look at it, and it gets updated, and it's frequent every time that you're keeping track of your eating and your exercise and your weighing in. So I'm coming back to the home page. You can definitely do that. Track your food. You can track your exercise. You can weigh in. I'm going to give you a couple of more things that you can do. Number one, you can also, from your mobile phone, do all of this. You can track this information. So from your phone, if you don't have internet access at work and you have a smartphone, you can click on this link to make changes and to add your food intake and your exercise intake from your mobile phone, and it will add and update the website for you. Now, you see these two new notifications? Every time I make a change of exercise, how many calories I've burned and doing what, as well as when I completed my food and or exercise diary for that day, it will record it as a status update automatically. So your friends and or your coach who's working with you to help keep you accountable, they'll see that on their screens, that you did that and you recorded and kept it up to date. That's powerful, and that's accountability. That's a very, very good thing for you to use and you to have. The last thing I'm going to show you is the message boards. MyFitnessPal has a great set of active message boards that you can look at, you can post, you can read, you can search for things, and a lot of them have to do with either general diet or food questions, nutrition questions, exercise questions. This is a good board, and for MyFitnessPal users to keep track of. If you have a technical problem, you can come and post it on here as well. If the MyFitnessPal website is inaccurately reporting a type of food, you can post something here on technical support as well, so that that can get corrected. Again, as a Team Beachbody coach, I encourage you to definitely make use of the extensive forums at teambeachbody.com, and that are based on all of the different things related to Beachbody and nutrition and fitness and motivation and encouragement. Those message boards are huge and they are phenomenal. This is just another resource for you to use and you to have. And the more that you're plugging into yourself for encouragement and support and having accountability, the better you are and the more likely you are to stay on track for your goals to lose weight. On the Tools tab, there are some other things here on how to, for instance, how to calculate your body mass index, how to calculate your BMR, and how to use a recipe calculator if you want to know the nutritional contents of a recipe, and a heart calculator. There's just some good information here. And again, this talks about the mobile platform for you to use MyFitnessPal from your smartphone. And I'll go back to the home page. This is a phenomenal resource. You absolutely should use this and should make full and extensive use of it. I guarantee that it will revolutionize. It will absolutely, and I'm going to say that again, it will revolutionize how you eat and how you exercise. When you move it from the subconscious to the conscious and you track it, especially after a period of 7 days. Again, I encourage the people I work with to do it over 10 days, and I become an accountability partner for them, and they invite me as a friend so that I can see how they're doing. I encourage you and challenge you, try this out. It's totally free, completely free. There's no charge. The way that MyFitnessPal runs is based on advertising. That's how they're supported. You'll see throughout the site on the top and throughout other pages on the site, here on the left, on the right, there are all kinds of ads that appear, especially track exercise. The ads will change. If you happen to click on these ads and participate in the offers, MyFitnessPal earns a small income depending on whatever the advertising is. That's how they're able to run this site for free. They don't charge you. There is no upgraded plan for you to participate in. This is fantastic. I definitely suggest that you get this. www.myfitnesspal.com. It will transform how you eat and how you get fit. And I definitely and heartily recommend it. This is Daniel, and I want to thank you for joining me, and I look forward to catching up with you in the future. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.